We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast. And we're doing a podcast for John and his team. And they've been through, and John's Cast Division did a phenomenal job. I mean, just an amazing job on that. And then John did another amazing podcast on goal setting. That was really cool. Like how to get to Hawaii. Like that was really awesome. And then to achieve the goals, okay, so we can set goals. Those are really important because they help us to care about something. Like they help to stretch us so we don't get lazy and complacent. And then to achieve the goals, okay, that now comes the hard work, And so, what is this one about? Well, we're going to just kind of see. So, there's in the boss systems, there's the DNA for business or DNA for people, business, and life. One of the natural laws is walls of opportunities. So in life, we have we have walls, and so we can go over the wall, under the wall, to the left, to the right, blow it up, tear it down somehow, some way. We're going to make a break through the bigger wall, thicker the wall, harder it is to get through the wall, the more important it is to get through the wall. So it seems like in today's society that this one, I don't know if I'm going to end up crying today. I might, never know. But it seems like we try to, like as parents, you try to go ahead and protect your children from pain. So you try to go ahead and look back and say, how did I have pain? And I want to prevent my children from having pain. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it often doesn't work as a parent the way you think it's going to work as a parent. I have 7 kids, 10 grandkids, 2 more on the way. And it's like, so adversity, like people today, it's like instant gratification. Like you watch TV, you get gaming, you have energy drinks, you have this souped up coffee. It gives you energy. Like you don't have to work for energy, you just get it. And so today, looking at the learnability model, like how do you go ahead, and we've got a number of clients on Action Vision who are frustrated like me, where like you're trying to help people get up to speed fast. So they want to earn more income, which as a business owner, we want them to earn more income. Like it's interesting. I had a client on the East Coast, actually an accounting firm, and I was talking to the owner. He's a friend and a client. And I said, your clients want to pay you more. And and he said, I don't know that that's true, Mark. I said, no, it's true. And we kind of argued back and forth. He said, what? Finally, he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, if you're a commodity, like if you're just like every other accounting firm out there, well, no, it's just price. And that's all it is. If you're a commodity, it's just price. Like it's the lowest cost. That's what it is. But if you're an investment and they're getting a good return on their investment, like they're getting a good return on their investment, they want to invest more. They're willing to pay more. He's like, wow, I never thought of that before. And I said, and you want to pay your employees more. And he's like, I don't know if I do, Mark. I'm like, you do. Trust me, you do. And he's like, I'm not seeing that so much. I'm like, so if you look at your employees like a commodity, well, then you don't want to pay them more. If you look at them like an investment, then you want to pay them more. He's like, huh, I never thought of that before. And so the faster we can learn, so I'm taking lessons from a pickleball, a pro who's a pickleball. I said, the basic pickleball player, what's the biggest challenge that they have? And she said, to apply what they learn. I hope this is important. My grandson, Daniel, when he was 13, he did an event out in Annapolis. And John, please feel free to interrupt me at any time. Just like if you have a thought about goal setting or anything I'm saying, just, hey, Mark, Paul, interrupt me at any time. Anybody, like just interrupt me at any time. Because this all makes sense, I think. It all makes sense in my mind, but it might take a little while to connect the dots. But we're going to try to move very quickly on this because it's the middle of tax season, right? So we want to do this. One of the things that I admire about John is most accounting firms, they're like, well, we're going to push back on it. We're not going to do coaching, or we'll only do 5 or 10 minutes. And Action Vision is so powerful that if you only have 5 or 10 minutes, you can get more done in 5 minutes. The key is consistency, and then consideration and competence, the 3 C's. So we were out in Annapolis, and Daniel was 5, and he went around and asked everybody their biggest challenge. And Jorge, who's a CPA in Texas, he said, Daniel, that's a great question. Why are you asking that question? And Daniel said, because my grandpa said it's an important question. Like he understood it's something at 5. I don't know if he fully understands at 13. Like maybe he does. I don't know. Sometimes it seems not. But at 5, he understood. Like grandpa says something, like he's saying it for a reason. So how do we help all of our team members earn more, work less, have less stress, greater life balance? Like it's easy to say as a business owner, like this is what my philosophy is. But it's hard to do in reality, right? I mean, it just is. So I said to Courtney, I said, what's the biggest challenge the intermediate pickleball player has? And she said, to apply what they're learning. So they learn something, then they have to apply it. I said, so that was what the basic issue, the person who had a basic skill and level. I said, what's the intermediate? She said, same thing as basic. It's application. It's application of what we're learning. And I'm like, that's fascinating. I said, what's the biggest challenge that an advanced player have? I was kind of thinking she said the same thing, but she wasn't. She didn't say that. She said something totally entirely different. She said, it's to go ahead and continue to do the basics and continue to learn and grow because they're advanced. I said, wow, that's crazy. And I thought, how does that apply to business? Well, when you're basic, you learn something, but you don't do it. It's hard to do it because it's how we think. So getting to think differently, like when you're frustrated, there's 3 elements to frustration: how hard you work, how much you care, and your level of expectation, self-systems, and others. So when we get frustrated, we often avoid the frustration. We work less, care less, and expect less. And that just leads not to something good because we're not growing. Then I said to her, I said, what's the biggest challenge of men? And she kind of giggled and laughed. She said, ego. I'm like, interesting. And then I said, what's the biggest challenge of women in pickleball? And she said, they care about other people rather than their own bodies, their own health, their own self. So they care about their husband, their kids, and everybody else. And they often, they don't practice, they don't do things. And I thought, interesting. And I said, what's the biggest challenge with kids? And she said, focus. And so there's things in pickleball that come over into business. There's things in everything in every area of our life. So I have found over the 40 plus years I've been in business, when I can't figure out something in business, often I figure it out in my marriage or with my kids. If I can't figure out something in my marriage or with my kids, then I figure it out in business. Everything interconnects together. So in the learnability model, like I was talking to Alvin Miller, a very successful business guy, ex-Amish, in Shipshewana, Indiana, and his dad was a spectacular teacher. And we were talking about, learnability, like how do you be a great teacher? How do you be a great student? Like when you look at the different white papers and the books, the booklets, the number 6 is going to be how to be the best student in the world. And my grandson, Daniel, Ginger Ann's oldest son, when he was 5, he was a co-author of that book with 3 other, young people that were 6 and under. And then Alan Stein. So Alan said, Mark, like, you're an amazing student. Like the things you learn, it's crazy. How do I become a student like you? I said, study the best students in the world. Write a book and study the best students in the world. And he said, who are the best students in the world? I said, kids that are 6 and under. And he did. He wrote a book with three kids, my grandson being one of them, how to be the best student in the world and everything. And so John is to be commended. Not only does he stick with the coaching, but he's committed where he has his team do it. And it's phenomenal. I mean, I've been doing this for 34 years, and I've never in my life ever worked with a leader like John. His vision is insane. It's crazy. It's easy, though, to cast a vision. It's hard to go ahead and do it. And he's doing it. And he's getting his team to do it. And they're growing and they're learning, and it's painful and it's hard. So we probably are going to need a part 2 on this, like the learnability model, like the life GPS. Like there's some cool things in there. Like when you go ahead and watch this video, then you go ahead and you go up and you go down and you manage up and out to it. Manage up and out is magical. It's absolutely magical. So what'd you think of the video? You liked it? You didn't like it? This was good. This was, it wasn't so good. Be honest. Yeah, this was whatever. And then what you do is then you go ahead and say, what did I learn from it? Don't be flippant. Don't be, this and this. Like, what did you learn from it? Like, are you looking, do you have questions in life that are just, the bigger your vision, the more work you're going to have to do, the harder work you're going to do, the more sacrifice you're going to make, and the more risk you're going to have to take. It's just will. It's a natural law. It's like the law of gravity. So if you don't have a whole bunch in my journals, what questions in life am I just aching to go ahead and have? Like I got to find him. Like a 3-year-old, he's relentless. Like he's relentless. He's going to get what he wants. How do we be a 3-year-old? And then, so what did I learn? This isn't designed to be an exercise to take up your time. This is designed to help you. Like it's not about John's vision, it's about your vision and how your vision connects into John's and John's into yours and how into Paul and Jemima and all of them. Like, how do all of your visions interconnect? How can we accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own? So once we learn something, so we think, what did I learn? Not at a superficial surface, but at a deep level. What did I learn? And then what action am I going to take from what I learned? This is where it's most important. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I got to do something with what I learned. If I don't, all I'm doing is superficial learning. And superficial learning, all it does is build pride. The Bible says, knowledge puffeth up. What does that mean? Knowledge puffeth up. The more knowledge we have, the smarter we think we have, the more pride we have. The more pride we have, the less humble we have. And the less humble we have, then we don't learn. We don't grow. We stop. I mean, the more we know, the more we know we don't know. That's how it should work. So then it's like, okay, what am I going to do with this? Like, what action I'm going to take with this? And then the next thing is, So what do I need to learn next? Like, okay, so thoughts, what did I learn? Action I'm going to take, and then what do I need to learn next? And then it goes out, and then somebody should review that. But if they don't, review it yourself. So you can tell so much when somebody does the manage up and out. You can tell so much. Did they get what they need to get? When you become a parent, you try to teach your kids this.
Mark.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing that and I'm managing up and out, can you tell me what the benefits are for me doing that versus just going on to the next video?
Oh, that's a great question, John. Thank you. Thank you. Because when we write something down, when we ideally write it down, but we can type it out on the app. So what it does is it helps to lock it into our memory. Like we're intentional in learning. We're not just like, oh, this is another one thing that John has or Mark has. Like this is important. Like this is important. So it locks it into our memory and we discipline our brain. So in Good to Great, the book, they say great companies are full of people who are disciplined people, disciplined thinkers, disciplined in taking action. So that's one of the benefits. One of the benefits is that. Now, John and I put this video together. So we're supposed to know what we're doing. But when I see Paul's manage up and out, Paul manage up and out reminds me, it's like, oh, so it's a good reminder for somebody who's an expert, somebody who knows what they're doing. And I'm like, wow, that's really good reminder. And Paul sees something in this that I didn't even see. Like I'm the one that taught it, and Paul says something brilliant. It's like, man, I never saw that before. So then I'm learning from Paul's manage up and out. Paul's learning and I'm learning. And then if it goes out to the whole team, then everybody else learns from Paul. And when they go through the same thing that Paul went through and Paul saw something they didn't saw, they say, wow, I went through the exact same video Paul did. I didn't see what he saw. That's amazing. And then if I'm reviewing it, like the Action Vision team or the EVA team, if they're reviewing it, they can also help and see things like the person who's going through it might have missed something, like the most important thing that they needed to miss. So it helps if Paul's the one going through it, it helps Paul to get more out of it. And it doesn't take that much time. Like this is a 17-minute video, the vision one. So it takes, I don't know, 2-3 minutes to go through it. So it doesn't take that much more time, but it'll double or triple his learning. And then he'll have an eye towards application. So it benefits Paul. It benefits John because John sees something at Paul and says, hey, he's connected to that. That gives John energy and passion and belief like, hey, something I'm doing is working, which we as leaders need because it's hard. It's hard to be a leader. And then it helps other people and other people can help Paul. And then it helps to inspire the whole team in a reminder like, oh, yeah, I need to get through that. Or Paul had this really cool vision and he has this really cool vision and it's combined with John. I want to have that same type of thing. Does my connection with Paul, like it brings the whole team together and it doesn't take that much time and effort. It's really fast. There's probably other benefits too, but those are the ones that come to mind. Does that make sense, John?
Yes.
Nice. See, that's one of the things I love about John. Like he's asking significant questions. Why? Because he knows that his vision's important to him. He knows that your vision is important to you. And most of all, it's important to our creator. Like it's important that we were created for something amazing, something special. And part of John's responsibility as the owner, as a leader, is to help you realize your life vision. Part of his responsibility is to blend those visions in together to where we truly can. It's so easy to say we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. That's easy to say. It's hard to do. It's hard work, especially in the middle of tax season. It just is. Anything else, John, that you have?
I don't think so.
Paul, anything else you have or anybody else have anything? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
So what I would recommend is, go through it. Can't wait to get into it and then do the manage up and out on it. And then, get two other people, like kind of like art buddies in your team and say, hey, I went through this video. So you start sharing, like, this is really cool. And then it builds the energy. And together we truly can accomplish so much more than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day, everybody. Appreciate you all. Bye-bye.